Greetings, my little Earth gremlins. Welcome back to another episode of MB2 Underground. Today's episode, astronomical. The vibes, zero gravity. The tangents, orbiting dangerously close to chaos. I'm Sarah Kiefer.
And I'm Jonathan Tyrek, JT.
I think you can just say JT now.
Can I?
Yeah, I think you've been here long enough.
Have I ever told you the story about how hard it is to introduce myself?
No, I don't
friends?
think we have enough time.
We don't, because I'm not a good storyteller. But what's a gremlin? Do you know?
Yeah, did you ever watch, or do you know what the Furbies are?
Mm-hmm.
They're evil Furbies. So if you feed a Furby after dark, it becomes a gremlin. That was the first thing I was afraid of as a child.
No, I know the movie.
Or they would wake up in the middle of the night and go, I love you.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
That's, yeah. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Hey, the guy today on our podcast, I understand he's pretty out of this world.
Ah, hey.
Was
I'm
that
really proud of
good?
That was pretty good.
That was good. All right, great. We get to introduce, or I get to introduce, one of our partners who has been practicing dentistry for over 4 decades, which is awesome.
A long time.
Gives back to the community, is very involved in charity work, and I'm going to venture a guess to say he's got some pretty insane stories about basically everything. So I'd like to introduce our partner and owner of Perfect Smile in Tulsa. It's Mr. Dr. Mark Davis.
Thank you.
Dr. Davis,
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
So you do a lot, or you've, I guess, historically done a lot with Catholic charities and then giving back to the community.
Yeah.
I like I want to hear more about the Catholic charities. I was adopted through Catholic charities, so it has a special place in my heart.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. We have a pretty robust Catholic charities in Tulsa, and they have this really nice facility that they built about 10 years ago. They wanted to get a dental clinic started, so I'm not sure how this happened. Again, my magnetic, ability to pull in people. But,
The
vibes. But I was able to get on the force that actually put the clinic together. We had an older doctor, myself, and I think another couple of guys, and we talked through how we'd want to put this all together. We wanted to make it a really nice facility, because what happens when you open facilities like this, I was told, is that all the old doctors want to give you all their old crap because they still think it's worth what they paid for it in 1958, and it barely works, and you can't find parts for it, and all that stupid stuff. So we said, no, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to get brand new stuff. We're going to get people to donate it. We're going to go to Shine, and we're going to go to Benco and whoever was around. And we're going to ask them, because this one doctor had said, I found out if you ask, many times they will do it. Just that people don't ask because they don't think these companies would be willing to give you a $10,000 x-ray machine or a $15,000 chair or whatever it is, but they will. And they did.
That's awesome.
So we had really nice stuff. And one of the things they said with some of the other facilities is that you've got to be up and running when the doctors come in, because they volunteer. So if you worked hard all day and then you come into the charity, and all of a sudden you sit down and you pick up the handpiece and nothing works. I'm like, well, I'm never coming back here again. This place is, So we just wanted to completely avoid that. And so we had a really nice facility. They had originally 2 chairs, and then it expanded, I think, to 4 or 5.
Oh, that's amazing.
And there's so much need. I mean, people go on all these Jamaican trips, but there's so much need locally, right where you practice. I don't care where you are. If you're out in the middle of, Overshoe, Ohio, or wherever, there are people that don't have the wherewithal to do any kind of dentistry, even if it's just extraction. So I would go on extraction night after we got everything up and running, and it was very fulfilling. It was really nice, because when you take the money out of it, when you take all the stupid insurance hassles out of it, and you're just doing it to help people, it's a completely different experience. It's such a fulfilling experience to be able to use what you know and your training to be able to help people. And you're the only one that can do that thing, So that was great. And that's been ongoing for, like I said, about 10 years.
That's amazing.
And then we did another thing called Doctors from the Heart, which was totally just in my office, where we would set aside an entire day And we had 3 categories. We'd do cleanings, extractions, and fillings. And you get in line, and we'd have a triage person, and then I asked some of my fellow dentists to come over and volunteer, and we'd do a morning or an afternoon. And again, it was very much like Catholic Charities, but it was in my office. So it was a lot of work. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just done.
Yeah.
And but I can remember sitting around drinking a cold beer at the end of all that, saying, this is one of the most exhausting days I've ever had working as a dentist, but it was also one of the most fulfilling days I've ever had working at a dentist, because we saw tons of people, and these people would never have been able to have any of the treatment that we gave them done any other way. They can barely, keep body and soul together. And so that was really great. I loved doing that. And then we also have this more organized thing in Tulsa called Eastern Oklahoma Donated Dental Services, which is way too long of an acronym, but
EODDS.
EODDS.
EODS.
Yeah, right. Where you can schedule patients, and they screen them, and then they say, okay, Mr. Smith's coming in, and he needs a new denture, or he needs some 5 teeth pulled, or whatever it is.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can do it while you're working on patients, which is really a much more efficient way to do it, because when you go to one of these other types of events, as you know, Sarah, going to Jamaica last year, the electricity is a little sketchy, and the equipment's a little sketchy, and we were working in a church, I believe, weren't we?
Yeah. With
one day,
very hot.
and very hot, and everything was portable, and once the electricity went out, we were just like, okay, let's play some cards or something. You had no idea when it would come back on. So it's really nice to be able to do it that way too. And again, there's no insurance, there's no money, there's no anything. You're just helping people.
Well, and in the comfort of your own office, like you said. I think that experience probably made you very thankful for your assistant, because I was not a good assistant.
Did you actually assist?
I tried.
Oh.
I have so much respect for assistants. I've never worked in a dental practice in my life, and I was I don't want to.
When Sarah came back, she just ranted and raved about the experience. And the thing that stuck with me, whether you know this or not, Sarah, she was like, it's just so awesome to actually see, specifically our docs, because we're all of our partner docs, but like the work that you guys do, like from an assistant's perspective, she's like, these are incredible humans.
Yeah.
Like things that she was like, I couldn't even fathom doing what they do, and they do it so well. So
yeah, and like you said, with like bare bones stuff. How was the Jamaican mission trip experience for you as somebody who has a history of giving back?
It was really well done, and considering that you're in a foreign country, considering the fact that all of the people down there have no experience with dentistry for the most part, and considering the fact that everything you do, you can pick up and put in a box, and put in a truck, which
insane.
we did. It went really well. And Dr. Dove, who is just an incredible human being, shepherded that whole thing. And I remember when I got there, we were supposed to already have these expedited VIP passport things to go through customs, so they didn't look in your luggage and hassle you. And he guided us. He said, if they ask you why you're here, just say you're on vacation. Because he said, if you give them any other explanation, they're going to start looking
They're going to run with it
underneath the curtain and seeing what's going on. So everybody gets through, and then I'm standing there at customs and or immigration, and the little man says, I think we have a problem here. I'm like, oh, God, I'm not going to be able to, they're going to put me back on the plane.
Or in jail.
Or in jail.
Yeah.
I don't know which would be worse.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. I wasn't on the list, so they detained me. I'm not like they didn't put me in a room or anything, but
no cavity searches.
No body cavity searches. But that was kind of scary. But everything else was great. I thought it was done extremely well. We saw so many people, unbelievable amounts of people.
Insane.
And the Jamaican people were so nice.
Yeah.
They were so nice. They just were like, anything you can do for me. And, the people that we worked on, I believe most of them worked at the hotel. Did they not, Sarah? Do you
On the
remember that?
first day,
First
yes.
day?
Second day was a lot of, yeah, even from like the orphanage too, there were a lot of
Yeah, the
kids.
orphan, right.
Mhm.
They were just so nice and couldn't be more friendly, super friendly. And it was great. I thought it was really well done. And I want to give Dr. Duff kudos for
Shout
that
out.
because he really had a lot of balls in the air when he went down there. And he does it over and over again.
Yeah, he's really him in partnership with, Dr. Polk and our events team really have that whole thing down to a science. And it's
They
cool
really
to see
do.
how it works.
Yeah.
How do you think your philanthropic experience has shaped you as a leader in your practice or even in your family? I know you've got a few family members that are part of the MB2 family. Shout out, Mary Caroline.
Yes, I do. I think it's been really helpful because I think your employees want you to be a strong leader, and I think it goes a long way when they know that you're willing to do stuff that's not for a green buck. That you're willing to take your time and your effort out to go and help people. And it makes the job, I think, just a little bit better because you're showing off another side of you that they may not see during the day, during a regular work week. So I think that helps a lot, and I think it helps give you respect. And you've got to have respect if you're going to be the doctor. Because in today's world, that's really about all you have, unfortunately, because there's no loyalty anymore, unfortunately. And we could talk for at least another 4 or 5 hours about that, but maybe some other time.
How, excuse me, as you have led team members,
Mhm.
staff, family over the 4 decades plus,
Mhm.
how has your approach, if at all, changed from when you started to now? I mean, you mentioned like the changing kind of tide in like general, I don't know, humanity, but like how is leadership or your approach to leadership changed over time?
Well, I was thinking about that. I think early on, you just want to be the best dentist you can. You want to do, textbook dentistry on patients. And after about 5 years, you realize that maybe not a achievable goal. I think you have to meet people where they're at. And this old dentist mentor of mine used to say, you have to walk a mile in their moccasins, is the way he put it. And you have to come together with them, and you have to understand that, yeah, maybe you could do this super duper hybrid implant supported thingamajig, but that's going to cost more than their house, and they can't do that. So what else can you do? How can you help them? Sometimes helping people is just getting them out of pain, and they're completely okay with that. And that's
Absolutely.
as far as they want to go. That's as far as they can go. And then sometimes you can do more. So I was mentored by others to understand that the most perfect thing that you could do is not always the best thing or
Mhm.
the right thing. And you have to learn that even though you give them the best treatment plan, they may not accept it, or they may not accept it now.
Yeah.
And that just because they didn't say yes now doesn't mean they'll say no 2 years from now or
Mhm.
4 years from now. In fact, I've been asking this guy to do Invisalign for I don't know how long. And he's an older guy, and he's a real character. And I don't know why, but one day he just came in and he goes, "Dr. Davis, I'm ready to get my teeth straightened." I said, "Okay, cool. We're going to do that in Invisalign?" "Yep, we're going to do that in Invisalign and get them teeth straightened out." I said, "That is fantastic."
Brilliant impression.
Yeah,
You met the guy?
I feel like I just did.
Okay.
I think you just did. But yeah, so you just have to be knowledgeable and understanding that you give them the best plan, which is what you're supposed to do in my mind, but they may not always pick it up.
Yep.
And if they don't, you cannot get crestfallen about that. You can't, just, well, that stupid guy, he needs to have this, and I know he's got the money. And that's even more frustrating when they roll up in a new Aston Martin and they still won't get a $5,000 treatment plan done.
Yep.
But you can't fall off that crest.
Can't. Got to stay up on that crust, Sarah.
Always.
So that's been kind of a modification, and I don't know, roll with the punches and don't get discouraged. Sometimes you do the best work you can and it doesn't work out, and that's not because you didn't do your best work. It's because the patient didn't brush their damn teeth, or whatever it is, or they eat Skittles all day long.
I love
Did I
Skittles.
touch on
I read recently Skittles is like the worst candy you can eat. Like it's like the absolute worst for you on the scale of bad candy. Like that's number one.
Yeah, I think the shell has nasty stuff in it as well as the innards.
But
Yep.
it's so good.
Is that your favorite candy, Skittles?
No, but I do like them.
Okay.
Dang, that sucks.
So
Okay.
I don't know if that answered your question.
No,
or
it-
not, but
No, it absolutely did. I mean, I think there's something really, really awesome about that approach, and with what I do on the business development side, I see a lot of that with prospective partners sometimes, where hey, they're trying to learn, get some familiarity with the marketplace, get familiarity with MB2, but the timing may not be right. Even though I could sit here and tell them, give them a list of reasons why, we always take the approach of, hey, like I get it. Like you got stuff going on that maybe I don't understand or I'm not aware of, but we're going to be here. And when you're ready to pick the conversation back up or do your Invisalign case, like, give me a call, and we stay in touch, much like you do with your patient. So there's something that I really resonates with what you said, like with me for sure.
Yeah, and you can't, you can't make people do things. Or at least most of the time, you can't.
What a bummer. Did you connect the fact that you're like a space weirdo with my intro?
Yes,
Conspiracy theorist. That's what I was
that
looking
was
for.
pretty clear.
Space weirdo conspiracy. Okay, well, hey, so give us something. What's the latest in space news?
Oh, we're waiting for Flight 9
We are?
of the big boy.
Okay.
And
Talk to us like we have no idea about space.
Yeah, what is the big boy?
What is 9?
It's Elon's gigantic
And
rocket
who's
ship.
Elon? Just kidding. Keep going.
Last name Musk.
That must be
he's
hard.
from Albania. Yeah. Number 7 and number 8 exploded. You may have seen pictures.
We have not.
Actually,
I'm terrified of
Do
outer
you
space.
ever watch television?
I
at
am
all?
terrified of outer space. I had a panic attack in my
Well, don't watch
astronomy class in
Don't
college.
watch the.
Did they explode coming back in? Is that what they did?
They exploded after they separated from the booster,
Okay.
and they tried to start making it do stuff, and it blew up over the ocean.
Ocean. Oh.
And you can see all these streamer things coming down from the sky. It was very dramatic.
I get so confused because you got Bezos with his Blue Origin?
Origin,
and
yeah.
then, I mean, I feel like you got all these, I can't keep them straight now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. A lot.
Oh.
The Chinese are doing it, and the Europeans, they blow stuff up a lot when they try to take off.
Oh, well.
So, but you know,
Next frontier.
it's it's experimental. So things blow up.
What got you into space?
When I was a kid, I was, and I think this was very common in my day and age. I was
I put
really into
tinfoil on my head.
No, this was before the tinfoil hats.
Oh.
I was really into the moon landings.
Mhm.
And of course, everybody thought they were going to be an astronaut and they were going to be, going up with John Glenn and all these other guys. And so once we stopped doing the moon thing, I was like, well, damn. And then nothing happened for literally for 50 years. Other things, got our attention. But now I think they see it as kind of an economic thing. And of course, Elon, richest man in the world, last name Musk, has been able to finance this thing. And he wants to go straight to Mars. He wants to skip going to the moon. There's not much going on the moon. I don't know if you've seen pictures
We've
of
been there
the
before.
moon. We have been
not.
there. We have been there. We've walked on it. So he wants to go to Mars. And so I don't know. I'm just a space geek. I can't help it. It kind of irritates my wife a little bit.
Well, and it terrifies me, so I'm going to just move right on past the space
Fine.
conversation.
I think enough said.
So, dentist forever, right? Do you feel like your passion or your interest in dentistry came from your work at the morgue?
Love it.
I didn't tell you my dead guy story. I forgot all about that.
I know.
This is about the perfect time to tell us that
It
story.
really is.
You know what
It's
you
a
should do? Tell us that story.
Segue, yeah. So this guy calls me up or calls my office up, and
He's not
says,
dead, though.
No, well, will you?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
He calls you off. He goes, we have this client, and his wife was told when he died that she could have all of his gold teeth, but we don't know how to get him out. He just died this morning. So I said, well, I'm not doing much of anything. Why don't you just wheel him on by here? And out in the parking lot, I went out and went in with my instruments and took out as many gold teeth as I could find. He did have quite a few. And then I put him in a little Dixie cup and gave him to her. And the mortician was very excited, wanted to please his customers. And I have to tell you, this guy was the most compliant patient I'd ever worked on. He didn't move a muscle.
I can't even generate or formulate words because I have so many follow-up questions.
I actually don't. I'm just speechless. I don't even know what to ask.
How many were there? Why did you do it in the parking lot? What were you doing that day?
He was in the hearse. They
Yeah,
brought him over.
I guess I can see
They didn't
not
just drag him over in a taxi cab. They put him in a hearse.
and I can see not probably wanting to bring him or any need to bring him into the office.
No,
Right.
no.
How many teeth did you get?
I don't know, 4 or 5.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to see. It's kind of dark in there.
Oh my God, I hate it here.
What do you hate more? Morgues, dead bodies, or space?
Yes. In a Dixie cup. Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Oh, I think I'd been in practice maybe 5 or 6 years. I was at my original location.
Was it weird
Yes.
doing that on a dead person?
Yes.
Do you in dental school? Do you work on cadavers?
Yes.
Okay. So you'd at least done that before. I
I mean,
guess.
we dissected their whole bodies.
Okay.
So it wasn't a thing for me.
Okay.
And
Yuck.
my staff thought it was a little weird, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But I forgot all about that one.
Yeah. Did you have anybody assisting you, or were
No,
you just
no, it was totally unassisted.
very
Just
Jamaican of you?
So low.
and
Solo
he
deal.
didn't complain about any after effects like
I
pain
didn't have to
or
call it
anything?
medication or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Did your malpractice cover that?
We didn't really talk to them about that.
Probably. What's he gonna do, sue?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, I think we've kind of gone off track here, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Well, in our prep, JT and I, we talk a lot in these podcast episodes about different topics. So like leadership, entrepreneurship, finance,
Right.
economics, investments. I think that we've created a whole new topic for you, which is just batshit stories. So starting with the dead guy in your parking lot, I think the next thing we have to know about is the pimp.
Oh, okay.
Think?
This attractive blonde lady came in and had some dentistry done, and every time she came in, this we'll call him a man came in with her, and he would sit on a little stool over in the corner. He would never say anything. He would just sit there and just kind of watch. So I assumed it was her husband, because that happens sometimes. They're scared or just need a little moral support. So I didn't really put it all together. And then maybe 2 or 3 months afterwards, we're watching the evening news, and this chick's, mugshot pops up, and I go, "Damn, that's my patient."
Did she have a nice smile,
Tulsa
at least?
resident arrested for prostitution, and I'm like, "Oh, that was her pimp." Okay, I get it
Oh my
now.
gosh.
Did you ever get his name? Did he have like a sick name, like Pimp
Fitty?
J,
Pimp
or
Daddy or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Like, do pimps go by like pimp? Like
It's not like a title like Mr. or Dr. Davis, like Pimp Davis. That's not how
Mr.
that works.
Mr.
Well, I'm asking. I mean, I can't say
I don't
know.
know.
Any
I mean,
pimps.
he never said anything.
Yeah,
We'll call him
okay.
Mr. Pimp for the
Mr.
sake
Pimp.
of this story.
But it all came together now because he always had on a real nice like 3-piece suit, which back in the time really wasn't a thing, and real nice shoes,
Okay.
very highly polished shoes.
Is that the qualifier for the pimp life?
I think it is. Oh, speaking of pimps, I worked on one in dental school too, by the way. We
Where do you hang out?
How did you get here?
This stuff just comes to me. I'm like a magnet.
I believe that about you.
I'm a magnet. So you get half credits in dental school for certain little things like denture repair or, re-cementing a crown or something. So I needed a couple of extra denture credits. So this pimp walks in, and I have to preface this. There were Oklahoma City, where the dental school is, has a bunch of these old like Route 66 hotels,
Yep.
motels, motor motels, and a lot of them have become brothels. And so this guy comes in, and I'm not making this up. He had a gigantic orange hat with a feather that stuck out of it, and a matching.
Was that how you knew?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Did you put a feather in his cap and call him macaroni?
I did not. I did not. So he comes in, and the poor guy, he had lost his gold tooth in his upper denture.
And you just said, "Hey, I just pulled one out of a dead guy. Here you go."
Well,
I've got 4 extra.
there were a few extra years in between there.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything. So I go back to the lab and literally super glued this gold tooth back into his denture, because that's what the labs would do. And
And you got a credit for
I
that?
got a half credit. I got a half credit for
I
that.
would give you about 50% credit on that
So
one as well.
that was a real coup as far as I was concerned at the time. So I don't limit my practice to pimps and prostitutes.
Are
but
you sure?
I have had some success with them.
Success. You're like, that's who made me the man I am today.
Right.
Any other pimp stories before
No,
we move on?
I think I'm done.
I think you've exhausted all of them.
Man, yeah, he's got 2 more pimp stories than I do.
We heard you helped
These are
out the Oklahoma Bureau of Investigation at one point.
Yes, they called me up, and
It only took us 45 minutes to figure out what OBI stood for. And then I was in the notes.
was a patient of mine, and then this madman stuffed her in the trunk of his car and drove all the way down to Texas, where I guess he got pulled over. I'm not sure exactly how they found this. And whoops, there's a dead body right there in the trunk. Wow, how'd that get there? So I don't know how they found me. Maybe there were a family, what are you laughing at? Family members that said, she went to Dr. So-and-so, and maybe they'll have a mold of her teeth.
Oh, dental records.
Dental records. So I actually did have a mold, and so the guy came by, and I gave him. Of course, I was feeling like Quincy,
Yeah.
medical examiner by that time. I was.
I mean,
What's a Quincy?
that was the name of a show back in the 70s or early 80s.
I think it was in the 80s.
I wouldn't
Quincy, MD, and everything was. It was kind of like CSI is now,
Yeah.
similar to that. So.
Okay.
They put them all together, and yeah, that's hers. And I don't know what they had left to look at, because she'd been. It was during the middle of the summer. It was about 105 degrees, and so yeah.
Well,
So now you have a fifth thing to be completely freaked out about, Sarah.
well, and I never thought about like dental records as a way that they identify bodies. You would think more dentists would be doing.
You would think, but
I
I
mean,
mean,
maybe.
but since DNA stuff came out, that's really kind of superfluous, because if they have one little piece of anything, your pinky
can
toe,
tell,
they can identify you more accurately than this.
Did you all know, listeners, this turned into a true crime podcast all of a sudden?
Wow.
If you were
Yeah.
going to kill somebody, how would you get it? No, I'm just kidding. Well, Dr. Davis, thank you for coming and being on our podcast. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to touch on?
Yes.
Hit me.
I would like to give a big shout out to MB2 for all the support that they've given me. I came on in 19, and I honestly don't know that I would have made it through COVID without MB2 helping me out. Of course, I didn't know that at the time,
Right.
but they've also been very helpful getting an associate on board, which I need, because I'm 112 years old, and I
Exactly.
can't do this too much longer, but they've been helpful with that as well. So I am very grateful, and I think it's been a really good move for me. I talk to people all the time about it, and unfortunately, and I think they even talked about this the other night. I didn't get a chance to see this latest business report But I think there's so much negative information about DSOs out there now that it's making it really, really hard for
Oh, yeah.
the guys to do that. And I get that because I talk to people in Tulsa and they're like, well, I just saw where, so-and-so went bankrupt and everybody that had any kind of equity in them is just SOL. You're done.
Yeah.
So I appreciate everything that MB2's done, and I'm very glad that I joined, and I'm very glad to be a member of a great business, great corporation.
Appreciate that. Shout out MB2.
Yeah, shout out. I mean, it
You go, girl.
starts with integration. We maybe
I
need
don't
to give
I
it-
don't really.
You don't
think
remember who did
that's
that?
Right. No, I don't think that's
No.
right. I think the
Y'all are
integration part was
so mean to me.
minimal. It was minimal.
So mean.
If anything.
No,
I spent my birthday with you.
no, seriously, integration.
I have to admit.
Awesome.
I had a different opinion of you when you came on.
What was it? Yeah.
Well, that's all we have. No, I'm just kidding.
Not warm and fuzzy. Let's say it that way.
Aw, that's so nice of you.
But I found out you are actually warm and fuzzy.
No. I have been, I've had one person in my whole life call me intimidating, and that was like the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
That's
So the fact
awesome.
that I was able to come in and be like, you better integrate or else.
Well,
That's
and I
such high
had never
praise.
been integrated before, so
Yeah.
Good to know.
You had a lot of stuff to do. I didn't. There's a lot of. Let's check this out. Let's get this sign. Da 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 da. And I had no idea what your job was really. I just thought, well, she's just show up and tell me that I have to do this and this.
Damn straight.
Which you did. But yeah, it's been a good thing for me and for my family.
That's
Yeah, we
great.
appreciate that.
That's great.
You
Well,
bet.
shout out integration, connecting at all of the support, and shout out MB2 support folks. Well,
yes.
Dr.
yes.
Davis, thanks for coming on.
It's been a blast,
This-
and I have some more stories, but we'll maybe.
Round two.
Round two.
later
We'll have
on.
to do another story telling session. Thanks for coming on. This has been a blast. MB2 Undergrounders, we have reached the end of our episode today. I do want to call back a couple of things. We talked about Dr. Joe Dove and his work in Jamaica, and we had him on the pod, episode number 23. And we've
Go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. We also had Scott Peterson, who was
Not that Scott Peterson.
not that Scott Peterson, but you got to go
Confirmed.
get that story.
He's
from
still in the slammer, isn't he?
that Scott Peterson. Yes,
Okay.
the one that we had on is not in the Slammer, and he's part of a philanthropic organization called World Health.
Yeah, I know.
One
who he
World
is.
Health.
Yeah, One World Health. That's right.
Unfortunate name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But we talk about that on episode 60. So if you like some of the stories that you heard today, a few less pimps in those, but
I was going to say, what's the pimp episode reference that we're going to use?
I don't know.
Well,
but
now we got one.
we got one for sure. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.